Level up your business. Get my free insights every week at stevepreda.com/newsletter. Good day, Steve Preda here with the Management Blueprint podcast. And today my guest is Vasily Petrenko, the CEO of Another World, a company that offers a solution for opening VR arcades all around the world. Vasily, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for invitation. Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you. And you're calling in from Miami. And you just showed me through the window the beautiful weather and the skyline, which is quite impressive. So what's your story? How did you end up here, this side of the ocean?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So actually, I think I started my business. It was my first business in 2014 with my friends. We were thinking like to start something new, some fresh idea, and we thought about what we could do. And by that time, we were writing different scenarios. We were participating in comedy show, and we were searching for different business ideas. And we found out by that time it was very, very popular escape rooms, like classical escape rooms. And we thought that, wow, it's entertaining people. It's something about puzzles. So we were studying in the university by that time, and we were like, okay, so it's very something, scientific, make some electronics, puzzles, and so on. So you need to think, you need to be smart, you need to be funny. So all of that. So it was a perfect match between me and my friends and the business idea. So, and the thing is that we built our first escape room, and all the money that we collected from our parents, friends, we got back all of the investments in 2 months. So I cannot imagine right now the business that you invested money and you got all of that back in 2 months. And the thing is that our main thing that allowed us to evolve in the future, that we did not stop at this moment. So we decided that we will invest all this money back again to the business. And we were searching for the new ideas. First of all, we continued to build the best escape rooms in our city, in our country. And other people, other owners saw that and they're like, oh, we see your success. We want that too. So they start calling us and like, can you build that business for us in the other city? So from one little business, we opened another one at the same time, which was the B2B solution. So opening this type of a business for others. And again, we were searching for new ideas, for new products. And 2 years later, we thought about, okay, let's add a new product of virtual reality. It wasn't, on a trending by that moment. And the thing is that we haven't found anything like what would be good for us. We were like, wow, this is a low quality. We don't like. Basically, there were so many dislikes for everything on the market that we decided we need to make our own product. It took us like 2 more years to think about this idea. And in 2018, we found the idea of free roam virtual reality arena. So I want to correct you a little bit here. So in the introduction, you said, in other words, VR arcades. It's not exactly arcades. It is virtual reality arenas. And free roam, for those who might not know, it means that you don't have any limitation with VR. So it's not like playing VR at your home. You put the headset, sit on the couch and playing. No, our VR arenas looks like from 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. And the player can explore the whole arena from one corner to another. So they can run, they can jump there, they can play, interact with each other. And there could be up to 20 players simultaneously. We started making this business in 2018, and it was as an additional product for our clients of the escape room owners. So it was an additional game for them. But again, with some time, it appears that more and more of our partners, and we realized that about ourselves, decided that could be in a separate business, not the escape room, but VR Arena could be a self-made business by itself. And we started doing that. We did rebranding, and we started not only providing the best games in the world for our partners, but also we did design, brand, website, booking system, and all of that. So basically, we packed our product into the franchise. And by now, it will be 8 years of the company this year. And we have 400 signed contracts all around the world in 50 countries. It means our partners who either already own and operate with our location, or they are under opening right now. So they are doing the construction, opening the business. So we are helping them with this thing. So yeah, that's the story.
That's fantastic. And so you're a licensing business or you're a franchise business?
That's a really good question. So right now we are registering the franchise. So yeah, I know that in some countries there is some strict regulation. So yes, we are licensing. So we are giving kind of license for our games for our partners, but we want to become the official franchise. So we are working on that right now, and yeah,
Yeah,
preparing all of that for this.
that's super exciting. So let me ask you my favorite question. What is your personal why and how are you manifesting it in this business?
This is a really good question for anything that you do, for anything like any of your daily task. You know, why am I doing this and not that? So why this idea will work? It's a really good question for you to ask yourself always. I'm kind of in this case a perfectionist. That's my good and bad side of my personality because, you know, I am also doing marathons and triathlon. I did many ultras already. So my good side is that I'm kind of very intense in terms of like working hard. So I will do everything so that my business will succeed. I will do everything so that I will run this marathon. But after I'm finishing the marathon, the next second I'm asking my question like, where can I be better? So why I did this or that? You know, it's always about the balance. So you need to still find it's not about like work-life balance, but even inside your work, you need to find the right balance between good and bad. And I'm learning that for the past few years, trying to be better at that. So I think this is the question. But still asking yourself, why am I doing this and not that is always important, in my opinion.
So your why is to always get better?
I would say yes. Well, okay, let me also add to get better. And there is no ideal, but there is a way to get on this path. So that's the first thing. The second thing, my why is also describing how you feel about what you're doing. And it might be the work, it might be your business, it might be whatever you're doing. So I started actually, my graduation was absolutely not about business. I started in university cytology and genetics. So I used to be a molecular biochemistry, biology, whatever. So I was this kind of a guy, you know, who was doing research for the PCR tests. You might be familiar if you remember from the COVID era of those PCR tests. So I was developing stuff like that. So I know how to do that. I know all of that. But right now I'm in the entertainment business. But the thing is that I really like to consider business with the scientific approach. What I mean is that business is also something that you don't know exactly. So there are a lot of hypotheses. There are a lot of ideas that you get when you're brainstorming alone or with your team, whatever. The thing is that you need to, first of all, there might be mistakes. There will be mistakes. And this is absolutely normal. And like we say in science, like negative result is also a result. So it's all about experiment. So you change one factor, you try one hypothesis, you make the experiment, you see the result, you make the conclusion out of that. If it's a negative result, okay, don't do that anymore. If it's a positive result, okay, how to scale that and do that better. And it's again, we might consider that as a why question. So why is to have the scientific approach to everything that you're doing. Do your experiments, don't be afraid of the mistakes, then you get lucky with success.
Yeah. I saw your post, the 5 things that you learned as an entrepreneur. That was pretty interesting. It kind of shows your scientific thinking about business as well.
Yeah.
So talking more about the science of business, this podcast is called The Management Blueprint. And what I'm looking for in every conversation is a framework that you have discovered during building your business that you could share with the audience so that they can maybe apply it to their own business. So think something like 3 to 5 steps, or it's a mental model or way of thinking of things. Anything comes up here?
Yeah, actually, as I said, first of all, the scientific approach and don't be afraid of mistakes. So this is mostly, I think, for the young entrepreneurs, you know, even right now, my little kids, they are going to some sports and sometimes they're upset if something goes wrong, right? And I'm trying to teach them that don't be afraid. If something goes wrong, it's just a way for you to get better. That's the first thing. The second thing, when you're scaling, when you're trying to scale, I know that it is also a mistake for many entrepreneurs or managers that you always know better how to do that and you are afraid of let someone do that. I know that by myself. As I said, I'm a perfectionist. And if I see some task, I'm thinking, okay, nobody will do that better. So first of all, try to teach yourself how to delegate, because without that, you cannot evolve. You cannot scale. If you're doing everything by yourself, you will be sole entrepreneur. You can do only, one thing, and it might be enough for somebody, but you cannot build a big business with that. So at some point, I just realized that if I hire people and they will be doing those challenges, those tasks that I'm giving them, okay, for 70% from my ideal, it will be still okay, because 5 of them will do 5 challenges. I will just only check them. So I will save tons of my money. I will check them. I will give them feedback. And yes, maybe again, it won't be 100% ideal at the end, but it will be closer to 80, 90, which is already very good. So for me, it will take weeks to finish those 5 challenges by myself. With 5 different employees, it will be 5 times faster.
Okay. So learning to delegate, that's important. So what else is in your framework?
About also delegation, the other thing I learned is to hire the professionals. That's the next step, to hire those people who knows better than you. So why is there a reason to hire somebody who knows less than you? So hire professionals in their areas so that they can bring value into your company. So that's the second step after the delegate. Again, for me, it's always about find a new idea, experiment. If it's a positive result, scale it, then back again to the new idea. So it's always, constant loop of making new hypotheses. So again, not sitting at one place and doing what you're doing.
Okay, so experiment and scale what works. That's great. That's it. So hire to delegate, hire people, technicians. I think you call them technicians or specialists.
Not only technicians. I mean, it could be in the marketing, it could be in sales, it could be in tech, it could be... So yeah, there are so many people in my company right now who knows better. I don't know how to set up the CRM system. I don't know how to set up the Google campaign. I know in general some of those things, especially at the beginning when you're hiring your first people, you might need to dig a little bit into the area. But after some time, you just need to... I remember, there was some movie about I think it was about the crisis of 2008, and I remember the whole scenario was this way, that the first employee who found the problem, he was explaining in the too many parameters to his boss that, we have a apocalypse here, that's a crash, and he was like, oh yeah, that's a crash. Then his boss is going to his manager, his boss, and explaining it in 3 sentences. And this top manager explaining to the CEO of the company in 2 words, and he's like, okay, I got it. So it's pretty the same thing, it's always like that. I really like this idea of how it's structured. And in our case, again, I don't know exactly how it is arranged in the details, but in general, I kind of keep it all in mind. Yeah.
You see the big picture and you can communicate it.
Exactly.
Maybe that's also a step that grasps and communicate the big picture.
From that idea, I just realized also one more thing is the environment for your employees, for your staff, for your partners. So it's also really important to give them the possible instruments about how they will work. Actually, that you can describe this structure of the company going from the first employees to the top managers, is that the first employees, they know how to do that, right? The next step, they are asking themselves, what are we doing? The next step, CEO, they are asking who is doing that. So the CEO is basically, at some point, you're deciding who will be doing those things. The top managers, they are thinking about what are we going to do? The employees are doing how to do that. So working with the instruments. And in this case, it is really important to put this into the very workable, I don't know how to describe the environment that will be feasible for everybody. And if your company is growing, you need to work on the communication between different departments, between different people, and so on, because there might be mistake in the tech department or website, which is not allowing to develop future things for sales or marketing and so on. So you need to give your team the appropriate instruments to work with. So as you asked me at the beginning, yes, my team right now in this company, we have around, I think 70, 80 people. I don't know the number actually right now. The thing is that half of them I don't know and I haven't seen them, not even in person, but even online. And also they're in different countries, in different cities. So we are working hard so that for these tasks, we have this type of a CRM system. For this, we have this type of a platform. It might also be different because depending on what your team is doing. Because for sales department, we have like one needs. For our tech team, it's absolutely other. So yeah, it also does matter.
Yeah. So I was thinking of what you explained, the who. So the person at the top decides who to do it, then the who's decide the what's, and the what people decide the how, or the people who work for what. But I would say maybe above the who, you have the why.
Why? Yeah, that's a good why. Why are we doing so? This is about mission of the company, the initial idea. So this is something. Okay, maybe not the CEO. This is something the board of directors, the investors. They are thinking like, why are we doing that? Why are we investing our time, money into that? So that's absolutely true. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, love it. Let me switch gears here. So what drives growth in your particular company, Vasily?
We are family friendly. So we are spreading joy and fun for people. And actually, this was one of our ideas at the very beginning when we thought about this VR, for example. We saw that there were some competitors and they were doing pretty similar product. But the thing is that they sold their franchise for millions of dollars. Moreover, only the equipment that they were using for building their arena was hundreds of thousands of dollars. We looked at that and we realized, okay, this type of a business, so it's still a business. You need to earn money. That's also, of course, it's fun to give people some joy, but it's a business. So business should earn money, right? And we realized that if we make a product like that, then you can open it only in major cities, like New York, Los Angeles, because only there you could have a flow of the customers, the amount of market money and so on, so that the people will pay you back. So that's the millions of investments that you will do, you will get back from this type of a park, arena, whatever. And we realized that, okay, our mission will be so that we want to make the same quality product, so high-end, immersive virtual reality. And also virtual reality still, I know that not so many people even tried it. So it still looks futuristic for a lot of people. And our mission is to every kid, every adult in the world have the possibility of playing this type of thing. How to do that is basically open the location not only in Los Angeles and New York, but also in the smaller cities. So we have to find a way for the business owners, for other business owners, to basically open our business. So not for millions of dollars, but okay, tens of thousands or $100,000, $200,000, which could be open in any city, in any even small city, little arena, little family entertainment center, we call it, FEC, where people are coming, having fun, spending their birthday parties, corporate events, and spending their time. And what drives us, and this is still, I will be honest with you, is when we are getting new opening. So just today, I had a call from Vietnam. I had a call from China. So people there want to open our location, and I'm happy about it. Not only because it gives us, bigger business, we are growing, we have more possibilities from that, because the more market we have, the more games we could develop and stuff like that, the better we can make our product. But also it's just another point on the map, and we could see like, oh, we are getting there. So that's the first thing, so that more people can try highly immersive, the high-end entertainment. Yeah. But the other thing is also from the very, very beginning, I remember that like it was my dream that we will someday come to companies, huge companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, and so on, and we will develop the game based on their IPs. Just imagine that we will create a game on like Harry Potter game. That will be a different level, right? So that was my dream and still is. And right now, only now, I'm getting closer to those guys and kind of have some negotiations. And this is what drives me personally. So this is what drives us emotionally to, I would say, wake up every day and do this business. For me, my employees, and so on. I don't know if this question was about that or
I think that's more of
maybe
the
some.
why. That's more the why question that I asked you earlier. So
Okay.
probably that's the why for the company, and that's very exciting. You're basically democratizing this whole experience. You're bringing it to
Trying to,
people,
yeah.
smaller cities, and that's always a huge idea. I had a client years ago who was in the floor covering and home decoration business, and he figured out a way. That was in Eastern Europe as well. That was in Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, and he figured out a way to actually franchise it to people who didn't even own real estate, who were just like family businesses. And he figured a way to kind of lease them the location and to make it a viable franchise in towns more with 10,000 people. He
Hmm.
basically he cornered the market in that segment. So that's super exciting. So Vasily, let me ask you, what's the one thing that you're trying to figure out in your business right now?
As I said, this big challenge about getting the famous IP. I just came from Las Vegas from Licensing Expo, and I had a few productive meetings there with some companies. So I see a lot of business opportunities there, but it also makes myself feel. I mean, when we make this kind of a game, I feel proud, and I feel that little Vasily, little boy Vasily inside of me feels like, oh, like if somebody would say to me 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that you will be making games, computer games, VR games, and especially game which is based on like famous Disney or whatever, I would not believe that. And this is what I really love. I mean, for some people might sounds like a dream. For me, it's still a dream, even though I'm getting closer there. So that's my main challenge right now, to be honest. But also, no, I'm doing a lot of stuff in the company. So yeah, the distribution. So also big challenges like new markets. There's also pros and cons. So we were growing rapidly. That is great to have 50 countries on the map with our locations. But just imagine that for each country, it's a separate language, mentality, whatever comes out of that. So you need to prepare the additional website, instruments, CRM systems, marketing materials, videos, like all of that, training. So it's crazy. So first of all, to help our partners in all of our countries to drive their businesses. So this is also important. So like B2C. And also when I'm getting calls and requests from new countries, new areas like Latin America. Right now, I'm getting calls. So we have a distributor in Latin America. So this is a new market for us. Of course, we are not starting from the scratch. So we have some background, right? But still, at this exact territory, you need to build a business from zero. So that's also a challenge. So I gave you a few, but this is what I'm working on every day.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, what's something that you would like our listeners to learn about your company or to maybe do and explore around what you're doing?
First of all, Google Another World VR. Find the location in your city or nearby. Come and try our games. Your kids will love that. I know that not all of the adults are, gamers or whatever. So it depends on the person. But everybody should definitely try it. And I saw a lot of companies of 20, 30, 40, 50 years old who were playing our games multiple times and having a lot of fun. We have PvE games, which is player versus environment, when you are in one team and for example, like me and you, we are in one squad and we are killing zombies or aliens, so we need to survive. Or we are having PvP games, so player versus player, when we are in different teams and we compete versus each other. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of competitive also thing. We have also features like playing against locations. So just imagine that location in Toronto, Canada, can play against Atlanta in Georgia. We have a location there. We have this technical feature already, and we are adding tournaments. So you can participate in the tournament locally, then play internationally. So yeah, first of all, Google our company and try our games. You will love it. So that's the first thing. Wherever you are, as I said, 50 countries already, I think you might find the location nearby you, or it will be open soon. The other thing is that if you're a business owner, if you're looking something to invest in, or you're looking for some new ideas, contact me, contact our company, and we will show you what our business consists of. And we have something to offer you. And the last thing, again, if you're from the industry and you're close to those, big guys in the entertainment industry, like those big companies like Netflix and whatever, also call me and we will find a way how to cooperate, and make the best game based on those IPs, trademarks, and everybody will benefit. And those guys who wants to play our game will have even more fun playing very, very characters, and it's all about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Vasily Petrenko, the CEO of Another World. So Google Another World, check out the locations and try these VR games. And definitely, I think the wind is in your sail, because the younger generations, they grew up with games. I was still Commodore 64 when I was a kid, but the younger ones, they actually know VR games. They grew up with them, so it's gonna be a great experience for all of you. And those of you listening, if you liked that show, then make sure you follow us on YouTube and subscribe and give us a review, because every week I bring an amazing entrepreneur like Vasily on the show. So thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for invitation.
And thanks for listening. That's it for this episode. Keep moving your business forward. Subscribe at stevebreda.com/newsletter.